Today we're going to have a look at the FoMaKo NDI Pan Tilt Zoom 1080 60 frames per second camera, the KN20. What this camera will do is it will pan tilt zoom, and it's also an optical zoom, which is a great feature for using a church service where you may want to have it across the sanctuary to pick up your presenter. This is a great camera if you're using it for a live stream and you want to have more of the auto tracking features. It has multiple ways of outputting your video. You can send it through your network cable using NDI, you can send it through USB cable, and it has an HDMI and an SDI output. So there's multiple ways to get the video out of your camera, several ways to control the camera. It comes with a controller that works really well. You can buy an extra optional joystick controller and control multiple cameras. You can also get a plugin in OBS that will control the camera. Also, you can control it through a web browser interface. So multiple ways to operate and control this camera and get video off of it. So we're going to have a look at that today, and we're going to go through all the features. You can mix it to vMix or OBS. I am much more of an OBS user and more knowledgeable on OBS, so I'll be covering OBS for this video. And this will hopefully this could be a help for your live streams. In this video, there will be chapters in the description of this video. So if you want to skip to a specific section that might have the information you're looking for to set up your camera, just go into the description or look up the chapters, and you'll be able to find what you're looking for there. Also, if I'm talking too slow for you, speed watch me, turn up the speed to 1.5 speed. If I'm talking too fast for you, you can slow down my speed for this tutorial in your video player settings. Also, I'd just like to state that FoMaKo has not paid me any money for me to give any bias input on this product. They did provide me with a sample camera to use for the purpose of this video.
Supports HDMI 2 interface and output NDI at 60 uncompressed ultra-high definition video, made for church services, house of worship, teaching and education, broadcast, high-tech conference, summit forum, events. NDI 6 and NDI support NDI license included, officially approved by NewTek Inc. Low latency. Support plug and play, which is convenient for project implementation and deployment. Compatible with video mixer switcher and FoMaKo PTZ controller, compatible with Mixubs and other live video streaming software, multi-cameras video production for live streaming to YouTube and Facebook. PTZ camera with auto tracking. Support human shape tracking based on advanced AI algorithm. Simply press on the remote control to enter automatic tracking and press the left-right keys to switch between different tracking character objects. Optical zoom PTZ camera, and the maximum field angle is 60° FOV. Built-in gravity sensor and supports the automatic image flip function. The PO Power over Ethernet feature allows you to only bring up a single network cable to power, control, and stream video when using LAN slot.
You can just simply attach the tripod mount to pretty much any standard tripod that you can get. Pretty much any camera store has these. Just make sure it's locked on there. Just have your camera mounted like pretty much like any other camcorder, except you can have it on a tripod just for any place that you may want to need to set a second or third or fourth, fifth camera.
Gather materials. Ensure you have the FoMaKo camera, the included wall mount bracket or compatible one, mounting screws, wall anchors if needed, a screwdriver, a drill, and a level. Choose location. Select a stable wall location with a clear view of the area you want to capture, ideally at a height that suits your needs, e.g., eye level or higher for optimal coverage. Mark the wall. Hold the wall mount bracket against the wall where you plan to install it. Check level. Use a level to ensure the bracket is straight, adjusting the position as needed before finalizing your marks. Use a pencil to mark the screw holes in the wall through the bracket's mounting slots. Drill holes. Drill holes at the marked spots using a drill bit appropriate for your wall type, e.g., masonry bit for brick, standard bit for drywall. If using wall anchors, ensure the bit matches the anchor size. Install wall anchors if needed. For drywall or masonry, insert wall anchors into the drilled holes by tapping them gently with a hammer until flush with the wall. Attach bracket. Align the bracket with the holes, then secure it to the wall using the provided screws or appropriate alternatives and a screwdriver. Tighten until firm, but avoid over-tightening. Mount the camera. Attach the FoMaKo camera to the bracket. Most FoMaKo PTZ cameras use a standard January 4, 2020 screw thread to lean the camera's base with the brackets, screw hole, and twist it on securely by hand or with a tool, depending on the design. Adjust position. Once mounted, adjust the camera's angle by loosening any adjustment screws on the bracket if applicable, positioning it as desired, then tightening them back up. Connect cables. Route the power and video cables either HDMI, SDI, or LAN through the bracket's cable access hole if available or along the wall, connecting them to the camera and your setup. Test the setup, power on the camera and use its controls, remote or software to test the pan, tilt, and zoom functions, ensuring it's stable and capturing the intended view.
And this remote control is quite well, actually. It's surprisingly, like, I'm sitting way over there, and just to control it, if I didn't have the LAN connection, I could actually still use this, which is kind of nice. Like, you can consider that before having to buy another controller, which is nice, but you can still get away with, on a budget, just using this, and also you can control it through the network. So there's through the web interface or through an OBS plugin that will allow you to pan, tilt, zoom your camera. So there's that option as well. One of the first things you want to do is install OBS. If you don't have it already installed, just do a YouTube search on how to install OBS, or just go to the, if you know how to install software, just go to the OBS website and OBS Studio and download this software. Essentially, here, I'll bring it in here just so you can see what it looks like. It looks like this. Actually, when you first start, it'll be in regular mode. It'll kind of look like this. I prefer running it in studio mode. You want to install that program. This is what you'll need to run a camera, I guess. You'll load up OBS and you will find that there's no NDI capture. And so that's actually a plugin that you'll have to install. I'll show you how to do that now. So I'm going to minimize this. So for the camera, I got it logged in here on this browser. There I am in the background. Oh, look at the camera. So the NDI config and all that. So it'll work in the browser, but you're not going to have it working in OBS with like a just fresh install of OBS. So I'm going to go to this thing here. I got some links here. I'm going to install this one first. So just copy and paste this link here. It's Distro AV. Got the link here. I'll have it in the description of this video. So we'll need a web browser. All right, so I got this program, Distro AV. It has the installs, and essentially what you do is you go grab the executable program here. So it'll have the Windows installer. So I'm going to click on that so it downloads. There, download it really fast. It's 2 megabytes. Now, if you're using Linux, there's a .deb, and I believe there's one for Macs as well. There's a package for Mac users. I'm going to focus on Windows because that's the majority of users that will use this. But Linux, I've found that this has been a little tricky getting it to work in Linux. Might have been a step I missed. But I found it works with great Windows and had some issues in Linux. Anyway, we're going to install this. So here we go. We're going to install Distro AV. Now it's going to go blank and it's going to hit yes. And there comes the prompt. Just that little segment there. It doesn't capture. I'm going to hit yes, yes, OBS Distro AV, install, finish. All right, so we installed that. So there's another thing we need to install, which is NDI Runtime. I'll just get this off GitHub. Copied that. So Control V that. URL into that. All right, so here we got NDI Runtime, quick install guide. Is that the tools? Let's see here. NDI Runtime setup, is that the one that, I'm not sure. I accept you, just go through that. Speed, read it like Johnny 5. And accept, runtime B6, whatever. There, that's all set up. You can also install it through your, this way. You go winget install. This is how you install it in the Windows command line. So you just go command prompt. There we go. and you control, yeah, there you go. Just control paste that into there, and then it will just download it and install it in the command prompt. Do you agree to source agreements? Yes. There we go. So it downloads it. There. And you just go to where the camera here has it. Do you want to install this app to make changes to your device? You say yeah, and it'll just do its thing there. And then back to the command line prompt. What's the other one here? Same process for NDI Tools. Oh yeah, so this is another thing that I don't believe I installed with that last package. Let's see, NDI Tools is not installed. So here's how you install NDI Tools. You just copy this from this page here, the NDI Runtime source. You go copy and paste. It just gives you some extra features. There, that just pasted right in by clicking on it. And it'll just download it in the command line and install it. Just gets you loaded up with all the tools that you may want to play around with for using an NDI device. Just installing the package, and that thing is going to pop up. That's where you got your NDI Tools set up. And you just click yes to that, and then it keeps doing its thing. All right, yeah, I agree, and register. So there's the NDI Tools. It has a screen capture bridge. Some pretty cool little features that you might find handy for playing around with streaming tools. Not necessary, but if you want to play around with these, it's available as well. Program here, it's called, what is it? OBS PTZ. So this simply is, I'm going to copy the text here, the OBS PTZ. So I'm going to install this. So I'm going to put this in the browser here. I'm just going to paste this in here. So it's going to take you to a GitHub website. And it is an installer, a package installer for OBS. So I just download that. It does have a, does it have a, yeah, as Mac OS, it does have a Linux version of this too. Actually, the Linux version does work. Okay, so that was cool. So this is where you want to be careful, where you want to, this program will ask you, Windows protected your PC, Windows Defender Smart Screen, prevented an unrecognized program from starting up in your programs. But I'm just going to click more info. Here's the app. It's this OBS PTZ. This is version 0.15.4 Windows installer. I'm going to run it anyway. It's going to do that pop-up where it goes to a black screen, but my camcorder is capturing this. It's just going to say, do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to make changes to your device? OBS PTZ Windows installer. Let's go, yeah. And we just go through the prompts here. You do a quick Johnny 5 read through, speed read of the agreement. You say next, 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 and install. It does its install. It's finished. I love that. That's like so like 90s and early 2000s. It's a box with a disc in it. I turned off OBS after that and turned it back on. So what you want to do is you want to create a, go under, at the top of the screen, there's a section for docks. You'll see the PTZ controls. And here is your PTZ controller. So I like to dock it right about here. And we'll just bring this in a bit here. Can I make that bigger? That's really ridiculously small. I don't know, I can pop it out. Maybe we can pop it in here and make it more reasonable. Yeah, anyway. It worked better before. I don't know why it's doing that now. Maybe it's the resolution on the screen. So you got your PTZ controller. So this was kind of neat because you'll be able to control your camera. You got your pre-selects. This thing, I'm not connected to a camera, so it's not going to pop up. What else do we need to do here? So let's see if that tool is the PTZ. Oh yeah, PTZ devices. So that shows up now. I didn't see that before. So we're going to go here. And if I can remember what I did, I know I'd done it before. Enable debug logging, lockout live PD. So where is the control? IP address. I might need, oh yeah, I do need to put the IP address. 192.168.1.35 on this router. got white balance audio, indoor. Oh yeah, it has a white balance settings. General, joystick, about. So does that mean it's going now? Change, and you can change the setting to that presets. So here's your presets. Here's your live button. So if you got, so the presets are working, but I don't know why the controller's not working here. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's working now. It's connected. So basically you have, here I'll zoom into the back of my head here. So you can use this and you can actually set a preset. I think there is a one touch autofocus. Oh, cool. So you zoom in, and I'm just going to zoom in on my head here. Down. It's going to be out of focus there. I went too fast. There's the computer. Go back. So there, and I could probably set that. I'm going to set that to like a high preset. Can I right click that? Save preset. There. Okay, so we save the preset there, and it actually says it there on the NDI, which is fine. It'll go away. There I am there. Just transition to that. And my audio is back. I don't have my audio in that thing. It's just, so when you screw up like that, you just take your audio, so audio input capture, go to the NDI. Paste. Paste. There's my audio, and I go back, and now you can hear my audio, which is hopefully it's synced up. I'm hoping for that. So yeah, I got my audio synced up. Copy paste the audio input source here into OBS, and so we got this. We got a camera that moves. You got presets so that the camera will kind of go like Wile E. Coyote mode. There we go. Yeah, presets, because I just had this set up before with different presets. The auto tracking, I had it really custom close up. I'm gonna go with more of an upper body setting, and I'll walk around the stage just to show you how that works. I find the close setting, because you got to take into account that you're zooming, it's zoomed in, so the movement of the camera is gonna be very shaky. It's always been that way working with a zoom. Perhaps if you have your camera closer, it won't have this problem. Turn on the tracking now on the setting so it's engaged. So this will give more of an upper body, which will, basically I'm not forcing my camera to be too zoomed in. So it's gonna probably be a little more softer. So yeah, the presenter wants to move slowly. You don't wanna move too fast. It's holding it better that way. Are we in focus? The focus was worrying me, because take into account that the camera's mounted on the wall across the sanctuary. Just to give you an idea how far I am. I'll walk up to the camera here just to look at it, how far I am from the camera. That's about that far. Okay. Back on the stage here. And just to disengage that, I'll zoom out here. Yeah, because I'm working with a camera that's basically, this is what it looks like. Actually, now it's gone into wide angle lens. So that's another thing to show off too, is the wide angle lens on this camera is quite more wide. I feel like it's wider than what it would be against that wall. It actually makes the sanctuary look much bigger than it actually is, which is kind of handy for that sort of thing. But then you have the freedom of moving this thing to wherever you want. Say, for example, we'll go this way. You have your presenter on the piano talking, and they're welcoming people to the service, and they're singing over here. I'm just gonna sit on this. This happens sometimes where I wanna grab a shot, and we have our worship leaders at this piano, and they're welcoming people to our church. And I can kind of get a shot like that, frame it like that. I'll go from wide, and then I'll get a shot like that. And using the controller, I find it's more fluid for zooming in on your subjects. This kind of gives you a pan of the church using that. If you wanted to, possibly make a shot of just sort of like a pan. I'm just going to pan around the church here just to
So, and I'm actually controlling this with the controller that comes with the camera, which is kind of nice for if you're using this camera for an application where you're doing your own live stream, but you want to control the camera while you're talking to people. You can have that option. I guess I can go even further back. I wonder if I could change the speed of this on the fly. No, I turned my pan tilt zoom down to like the lowest speed possible, just to see if the AI tracking would go slower, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. So there we go, there's the door to the entrance of the sanctuary. Another thing I have encountered with having cameras against the wall, just to show you what I deal with, we'll have someone sit here and they kind of rest their head on the wall and they kind of bang the wall, and my camera shakes when they're like just sort of, you know, and there, I'm gonna track me back. So I'll show you the halfway zoom tracking. I'm just gonna walk around the sanctuary just to show you the tracking and how well it's working. Seems like it's working pretty good. Hey, that monitor stays on all the time. All right, so there is one thing about zone. So you want to set your zone here. I used this for our speaker last week. So this is how you would set up the set the camera up. If you're, it's nice to have the preview for that. Is you go and you use your web interface, and we'll use like zone C. Say we'll select zone, or can I set zone in C? I'll go zone C. I'm just using my handy dandy laptop that's remotely connected into that computer. All right, so I'm just gonna zoom in on myself here. And I got zone C, save. So it should save, I should pop up here. Yeah, there's a picture of me on the screen. So if I wanna auto track myself here, let's go here and set the auto tracker on. Just turn it on here in the web interface. And it's set to zone C. So it should start tracking me. Let me go minimize this. Oh, it zoomed it out. It's gonna follow me though, eh? Yeah, it's set to follow me here. But I want it zoomed in. Can I control it to zoom in? No. Choose location. Auto zoom, auto tilt, zone. So I got my zone here. And there's another option here where if you want to set your presenter to the right or the left, which is handy if you're using graphics, you can put the graphics to the opposite side to them and have room to overlay the graphics. Kind of want this to be close. Mode to presenter. Presenter would be good, yeah. So this is if you were to set the camera to an upper shot, and close shot is what I clicked on in the web interface, and it will follow along on the stage. Like I'm probably across the room from the camera, and if I were to speak to the audience, it would follow the presenter, the speaker, moving around. Now, if you find this shot to be a little too much, what you might want to do, and if someone is moving, typically what you'd want to do is make the shot a little bit wider. So just go to a wide shot while people are moving around, because it is hard to follow that. But if they move slowly, I find that the camera can handle that a little bit better. But I find it is a little bit funky. So with the AI tracking, if I can't figure the settings out, what I'll do is I'll just go to manual control and then just manually pan it really, really slow as the presenter is moving out of the shot. This is how I go about doing that. And if anything could be a little bit better on this, I would say that that it could stay in focus a little bit better. I find when I move out a shot here, I might be able to figure out how to make this just work a little bit better. I'm just walking around here with my laptop and testing this out. As demonstrated in this video, that the pan tilt zoom, when it is attached across the wall, going across the room, you may notice that it is a bit shakier when it's zoomed in very far and the AI tracking. This can be resolved by having a camera
installed closer to your subject, but for the purpose of what my installation is, I'll just have to work around that and just manually control the camera's pan, tilt, zoom when it's zoomed in close.
So this 2.4 gigahertz remote that comes with the camera, it will actually it'll work outside the room, so you don't have to be pointing directly at it, which is really nice. I did set the sensitivity on this to work faster too, so it could be the speed here. Let me just quickly look at that. Here, just look at on the PTZ. Whoop, wrong one. SDI mode, level A. DVI mode, HDMI. I'm gonna actually enter at the 30 frames per second because I don't use the 60 frames. Is that gonna change it? Oh yeah, and if you're gonna hang the camera upside down, flip horizontal, flip vertical. All right, so there's a setting. So if you're gonna have the camera upside down, you wanna change the upside down. This is like a crazy video I would do when I was a teenager where I'd be laughing. I'd be like, ha 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 ha. Anyway, sorry. Freeze at calling preset, save ISP, display info. Let's go through the on-screen display settings with you as well. So I got the menu right here. All right, so got your exposure. Your flicker is off. 50 hertz off. Is that 60? I'm not too sure. I'm just going by the what's the default settings on this. As I'm looking at it over here, I can see it on this projection screen better. So there's the exposure settings. There is the color settings. I'm not going to mess around too much with that stuff. There's the image. Style, brightness, manual. So here is all the image settings. The display. So you have your frame rate. All right. I might want to 1080p, 1080. Video format 1080p 30. I have to reboot the camera so to make that go into its dealio. So you got your 1080i 60, your 720p 60 frames, your 1080p 30 frames, your 1080p 60 frames. I'm working with progressive scan with all my OBS settings, and I just find it works. You avoid when you work with progressive scan, you don't get the interlace blur, which I prefer. DVI mode is HDMI or DVI. HDMI or DVI. Your SDI mode is level A3, A or 3. I'm gonna leave it on level A. Your flip is, you can make it backwards, so you can have all your lettering backwards, but I'm just gonna leave it the way it should be. And your horizontal, you can flip that back and forth, which is good. So this is good if you're, you have your camera upside down, you're hanging on the ceiling, and you can flip it over, or the way you mount it, so you can flip it however you decide to mount it. Freeze calling preset, I don't know what that is. Save ISP, display info on. So this is kind of a nice setting, the important setting, which is in your display info, which is on, but if you're noticing that when you turn your AI tracking and all that, you want to turn that off, you can do that. I don't know where that is. Is it doing it through the NDI or the HDMI? I'm going to leave it on for now for this tutorial, but this is a nice thing to have because your on-screen display is going to pop up in your video and you don't want that. So important setting is, that's a really important one. In display, under menu, display, and your display info on or off. There's GDC, which I don't know what that is. Your PTZ controls, your AF sensors on high, middle, low, high. Your AF region is front, top, center, bottom, front. I'll leave that there. Your AF limit is off. Your LR mode is STB, Rev, STB. Motion style on, off. You could have your preset speed or you could have your custom speed. Custom speed's on. Which I'm figuring this out right now because I want to actually have it set so the zoom can work kind of slower. I can't control it in this. Digital zoom 2x, 4x, 8. I have it off. I'm not a big fan of digital zooms, but maybe I'll play around with it and find I like it. Communication setup. This is where you set up your Visca, so you connect your Visca mode serial, parallel adapter. Baud rate is 96. USB mode is whatever that is. USB 3.0 function is UVC, host, UVC. It gives you two different options. Your DHCP is off. I think I have that set to a static.
Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get notified when the next video is released. This is the first video in a series we will be releasing. It focuses on setting up a camera. Stay tuned for upcoming videos on configuring the controller and starting a live stream for church on a small budget.